Let me show you the places and parts that could cause water leaks. The first part you need to check are the fill hoses. A bad rubber washer inside of the fill hose, a loose connected fill hose, a pinhole or a crack on a fill hose are the major cause of water leaks on most washers. To check the internal parts in the washing machine for water leaks, you will need to remove the front panel. If the washer is leaking on the left side at the same time that it's filling, check for a leaking injector assembly, pinholes and cracks on a water mixing valve, pinholes on the hoses, and leaks coming from the filling spout. Cracks on the hose that goes from the top to the pump, on the top part or on the bottom part could cause water leaks. Worn out bearings inside of the pump could cause water leaks. A bad top seal could cause the washer to leak right through the top bearing, like this. A worn out rubber seal on the bolt that holds the tank in place could cause a water leak. A pinhole or a crack on the bleach dispenser hose could cause a leak. A siphon breaker valve could cause a leak too. As you can see, there are many parts and places that the washer could leak water from. You just have to keep looking until you find the problem. Disconnect the washer from the wall outlet. Lean the washer against the wall and remove the front panel. If the washer still has water on it, use a plastic container to bail the water out. Before you remove the hoses from the pump, take a towel and put it under the pump and the hoses to catch any water leaks. Remove the clamp and use a flat screwdriver to remove the tub to pump hose. Next, loosen up the clamp and remove the drain hose. Lay the washer on the floor like this. Remember, you need to remove the fill hoses before you lay the washer down. Remove the pump belt. Remove the pump 3 holding screws and remove the bad pump. This screw on the pump should be facing forward. Set the pump in place and screw in the 3 holding screws. Make sure you leave the screws loose enough so you can move the pump. Install the pump belt. Move the pump all the way to the right to tighten the belt, and tighten the first screw and leave the other 2 screws loose. Pull the motor out to tighten the dry belt and hold it there. Loosen the screw on the pump to let the pump move to the left. Adjust the belt and tighten the 3 holding screws. Pull on the motor to check the adjustment on the belts. The dry belt should be tight, and that should be the adjustment on the pump belt. If yours are like that, you should be all set. Stand the washer up, install the front panel, and you're done replacing the pump. Let me show you how to check and replace a leaking injector. A bad injector will start leaking the moment that the washer starts filling. Remove the front panel and set the timer on the regular cycle and pull the knob to turn the machine on so it starts filling. If the washer is leaking on the left side during the filling cycle, most likely you have a bad filling injector. Use a piece of tape to secure the door and remove the two top panel holding screws. Lift the top panel. This is the location of the injector. Turn the washer on to start filling. When you have a leaking injector like this, the solution is to replace the injector kit, and that's what we're going to show you next. Loosen up this clamp and pull the hose to remove the injector. This black tube that I'm removing is the injector. This is what the injector kit will look like. Take this plastic piece and put it inside of the rubber hose like this. Put a little grease on the injector so it slides easier when you're going to put it on this hose. Now turn it like you're screwing it in and put it all the way in. Put the clamp and connect it to the plastic nozzle. Tighten the clamp and then check it for leaks. Turn the washer on to start filling. As you could see, the injector is not leaking anymore. The problem is being resolved. Lower the top panel. Screw the holding screws. And install the front panel. And you're done replacing a leaking injector. Let me show you how to replace the stem and seal. Disconnect the washer from the wall outlet. Remove the two top panel holding screws. Tape the door so it won't swing open when you lift the top panel. To remove the top cover, pull out on the tabs until all the tabs are disengaged from the top. Be careful not to break any of the tabs and pull the cover out. You will have to remove this screw to remove the agitator. Unscrew the agitator holding screw and pull the agitator out. To remove the spin drum clamping nut and the stem, you will need a spanner nut wrench like this one. You will have to turn the spanner nut wrench clockwise to remove the clamping nut because it has left-handed threads. Remove the top cone. Remove the spinning drum. Before you can remove the stem, you have to remove the set screw. And you will need a Torx T20 screwdriver to do that. You will need to remove the screw out before you could use the TB123A spanner nut wrench to remove the stem. You will need to turn the spanner nut wrench clockwise to remove the stem. Grab the seal, give it a couple turns, and take it right out. Use a wire brush and sandpaper to clean the area real good where you're going to install the seal. Put some white lithium grease on the seal. Set the seal in place and start turning left and right until the seal is sitting all the way in. Be careful not to break the carbon ring If you do so, you'll ruin the seal. Apply a little bit of grease on the carbon ring on the seal, and also apply a little bit of grease on the stem. Remember to turn the TV123A spanner nut wrench counterclockwise to tighten the stem. Install the stem set screw and make sure that it's tight. Set the spin drum in place. Install the cone and the clamping nut. Remember that you have to turn the TV123A spanner nut wrench counterclockwise to tighten the clamping nut. Install the agitator and tighten the holding screw. Install the tub cover. Make sure that this tab is aligned with the lift switch. Set it in place. Push down until each tab snaps in place. Lower the top panel. Align it and install the two holding screws. Stand the washer up and install the front panel. Let me show you how to remove the top bearing. Disconnect the washer from the wall outlet. Remove the front panel. Remove the two top panel holding screws. Tape the door so it won't swing open when you lift the top panel. To remove the top cover, pull out on the tabs until all the tabs are disengaged from the top. Be careful not to break any of the tabs and pull the cover out. You will have to remove this screw to remove the agitator. Unscrew the agitator holding screw and pull the agitator out. To remove the spin drum clamping nut and the stem, you will need a spanner nut wrench like this one. You will have to turn the spanner nut wrench clockwise to remove the clamping nut because it has left-handed threads. Remove the tub cone. Remove the spinning drum. Before you can remove the stem, you have to remove the set screw. And you will need a Torx T20 screwdriver to do that. You will need to remove the screw out before you could use the TV123A spanner nut wrench to remove the stem. You will need to turn the spanner nut wrench clockwise to remove the stem. Next, you will need to remove the 3 drum support bolts. Use a 1/2-inch wrench inside of the drum and a 1/2-inch socket outside of the drum. Remove the nut, compression washer, square spacer, the bolt, and the damper washer. Remove the other 2 tank holding bolts the same way. Remove the tub and set it like this. Remove the water level switch hose. Pick up the tub and remove it. The spin drum on the floor and put the tub on top of the spin drum. Use a can on top of the top bearing and push down until it comes out. Be careful not to bend this lip. Clean the area where the top bearing is going to be installed. Put some grease on the new top bearing. Install the new top bearing and make sure that it's all the way in. Clean the transmission neck and apply some grease. Install the top bearing metal sleeve and apply grease. Set the top in this position and install the water level switch hose. Set the top in place. And install the 3 holding bolts in the sequence shown. Clean the area that you're installing the seal in and apply grease to the seal. To install the seal, set it in place. Turn it left and right while pushing it down until it's all the way in. Be careful you don't break the carbon ring. If you do so, the seal will be ruined. Install the stem. Use a spanner nut wrench to tighten the stem. Then install the set screw. Set the spinning drum in place. Install the cone. Install the clamping nut. Remember that it's left-handed thread. You have to turn it counterclockwise to tighten it. Use the spanner nut wrench to tighten the knot. Install the agitator and tighten the holding screw. Install the tub cover. Make sure that this tab is aligned with the lid switch actuator. Align the tabs and push it down on it until you hear every one of them snap in place. Lower the top cover and install the 2 holding screws. Install the front cover and you